Okay, qualifying round at number 2 for the Group B category. Sam Tweedy, a brand new driver to the series here this weekend, and Darcy Redstone doing the navigational duty. So this is their second ever rotation in a V8 Jetsprint boat, and Sam Tweedy, well, I'll tell you what, this is a bloody great story. This guy from Tamaranui, the auto electrician, bought the boat just last week, decided he wanted to make the final round here, and on the way down he had his wife Felicity sitting in alongside him, who was heavily pregnant. Then she started going into a little bit of labour, and Felicity apparently just said, hey, listen, don't worry about that, we'll just cruise into hospital at New Plymouth. So Sam and Felicity went into the New Plymouth hospital last night. Felicity gave birth to a baby Emma. So congratulations to Sam Tweedy, his wife Felicity, and welcome to the world, baby Emma. And Felicity actually said to Sam, well, you bought the boat to go racing, you might as well duck down there, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you know how it goes at the end of the day, mate. So off you go. So a big shout out to Felicity and baby Emma, and well, let's hope that Sam has a fantastic day, and going okay so far. He's got the rotation sorted in a brand new boat, first time out on the track, so that is just wonderful to see. So welcome to jet sprinting, welcome to the world. Big things happening in the Tweedy family, and we look forward to some great things for those guys throughout the course of the day. It is now the professionals machine. Chris Rasmussen, the real estate agent from New Plymouth. Holly Sutherland, the legal executive from New Plymouth for the professionals real estate attraction, sign and design. So Chris Rasmussen out there giving it a crack in the Stinger machine, and seems to have a little bit of pace on at the moment, so this isn't too bad. A little bit harsh on the wheel. How's he going to go into this hairpin? This mouth fresh hairpin is going to cause all sorts of havoc throughout the course of the day, and as of course every time we get a hairpin, it does make it very, very difficult. That is what is known as the money corner. You can either win it or lose it in the hairpin. You get it right, it's going to be a fantastic time. You get it wrong, you lose plenty. So Chris Rasmussen there with a 49.669. Plenty of, as we said earlier, there are 41 competitors here today. We've got the vertical rush for the kids, the big blow-up slide out in the background during the lunch break. We're going to have the Undy 500, and I reckon that's going to cause a little bit of shrinkage of some organs. And Greg Morgan, who can play the organ, might know a little bit about that, but we'll suss out how that goes throughout the course of the day as well. But yeah, the Undy 500, we've got a flyover depending on the weather conditions, and they look like it's going to clear into a beautiful day. We've got a flyover. Leighton Manel will join me in commentary a little bit later because he knows all about the aeroplanes. We'll be doing a fair bit of whirly and that kind of thing. The flounder pounder now out onto the track, Jacob Simmons and Ollie Birder. These guys are new to the series this year, got onto the podium at the standalone event at Bay Park, and wow, what a rousing ovation that they got from all the racers. These guys aren't old enough to hold a car licence, and yet they're in 5th place in the overall championship in the Group B category for their first ever season of racing. So all very tight around that hairpin. Just stuck the bow of the boat right into that island, and just the back of it came around very, very nicely. Interesting way to go about it. But these young blokes, certainly they're being so young, their reflexes will be super sharp, and Jacob Simmons there with a 46.451. So great to see these guys. Let's hope that they can make enough move in the overall championship to find themselves on the podium. Perhaps actually they are within shooting range of getting onto that overall podium. But for today, they'll be just looking at the podium for the final round of the Altherm Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprint Championship. It is Carl Beaver in the Beaver reliever coming out on track now. Jay Amon, his wife, both the pair from Waitara. So Jay Amon in her first race at Wanganui, the boat rolled and she actually broke her arm. And a very, very tough lady indeed. She just said, well, you know what, okay, I got a broken arm, and so she competed for the next few rounds with her arm in a cast. So certainly, as soon as they've got the bug, and they are just into it. So how's the hairpin going to treat the Beaver Reliever? Very nice indeed, actually. The split was pretty good as well, with a 23. So in and amongst the mix there, a little bit quicker than Jacob Simmons. So we should see this time if Carl can keep it all together around about the low 46s. And that's all very high 45.703. So Carl Beaver and Jay Amon will be very, very happy with that indeed. Hayden Wilson from Wanganui will be coming up next. Hayden Wilson in 4th place in the championship does have a potential to knock Kelly Manel off from the overall championship. He is within striking range, and here's where it's going to get interesting throughout the day. So Hayden Wilson, Amanda Wilson, his sister, and of course Vanessa, his wife, sitting on the sidelines and watching. So we had I got into a little bit of trouble earlier in the year. I said that Amanda was his wife and Vanessa was his sister. Vanessa was happy about that. She reckoned she got her off the hook. But we sorted that out. They're keeping it close into the family, and a fantastic racing family as well from Wanganui. Hayden Wilson took the 2017 series off just to reset the brain cells, and took a couple of meetings to find his feet again, but has certainly been in and amongst it. There probably needs to work that hairpin out a little bit better. The mouthbrush hairpin, of course, the Group B boats category, brought to you by Stinger Boats. So Hayden Wilson across the line now, and no transponder by the look of that. So Hayden Wilson didn't have a transponder for qualifying round number 1, so it might be worthwhile one of the fellow competitors just mentioning that to him. Well, either that, I dare say the people that he could potentially knock off the podium are certainly going to keep their mouth shut, because that's what you do. You don't want to get your give your competitor the info and say, mate, you don't have a transponder in there. They'll be keeping it to themselves. I know I would. It will now be Bevan Schuler and Jason King in the Rotakari Rocket Rodent. Yep, Rotakari Rodent. So the Rodent out on track at the moment. Bevan Schuler, relatively new to the sport as well. Got a lot of new guys and girls coming in. Oh, really wide around the Methanex sweeper at the bottom part of the track. Not a lot of room left out there for him to go, but he got out, got away with it. The Stinger Hull, Schuler Concrete, Murray Brothers and Transport Diesel Services, the sponsors on board for Bevan Schuler from Altherm in Taranaki, the builder. Jason King here doing the navigational duties. It's been a fairly tidy time for Bevan Schuler, and into P3 at the moment with a 47.220. So very early in the day, qualifying round number 2 for the Group B category. The crowd will be starting to make their way in. Okay, Hayden Wilson does in fact have a transponder on. We had the Genius boy come in here. He just did a little bit of wizardry on the computer. Hayden Wilson did post a time of 47.840, puts him in a P4 for the moment, as the adrenaline machine of Greg Reardon, Amber Reardon, the daughter is doing the navigational duties. The crew from Inglewood, Greg Reardon, the motorcycle mechanic, and Amber Reedy's daughter. Well, I tell you what, she'll be absolutely loving getting into the adrenaline machine. Greg Reardon had a few issues, engine issues throughout the course of the season, finds himself well down in the overall championship points. He's gone wrong way. His daughter, first time in the boat, will blame her, Amber. She was the one who got it all wrong. I dare say that's how it generally works. The navigators always get it wrong. The drivers, oh, Greg Reardon, how wide do you want to go? Nearly clipped into the little peninsula of the Altherm Island, coming out of the mouth fresh hairpin, the pork chop. So that was a bit of an interesting move. Greg Reardon has gone the wrong way in the rotation, hasn't realised it, and so that will be a DNF for Greg Reardon, unfortunately, in that run. So Greg Reardon, unfortunately, gets a DNF in that one, but that's all right. He'll be able to reset. So we should be seeing Tim Edhouse now. Yes, that is right. It is Debbie Edhouse back in the boat this weekend here. Tim was third in the 2016 New Zealand Championship, and looking forward to getting up. Hasn't been racing all right throughout the season. Had to take care of some business interests throughout the course of the season, so not in contention for the overall championship, but certainly wants to lay one down here today and finish the season on a high and look forward to the 2019 Jetsprint season. So Blair Edhouse, his son, will sometimes sit in the boat. Debbie, his wife, has decided to take over the silly seat duties for today. So the boat is Liquid Addiction, the old 98 6-litre 500 horsepower Stinger hull. Fono Motors, Tyre Max New Zealand, Waitara clutch and brake specialist, and McCurdy trucks. So Tim Edhouse, this will be a fairly reasonable time with a 47.956. So we've got a 45 there from Carl Beaver, Jacob Simmons with a 46. We've got 3 in the 47s, which are Bevan Schuler, Hayden Wilson, Tim Edhouse. And then we jump out to 49 for Chris Rasmussen, Sam Tweedle at a 110. So, but we've still got more boats to come in the Group B category. It will be Buttercup, Daniel Reid, his Mrs. Jasmine Webster in the Aquaholic. And, well, Buttercup, he's a bit of a fitness, picture of fitness, this bloke. He's been doing plenty of work on the boat to lose some weight out of the boat, to get the boat a little bit quicker. He's been watching a lot of the Commonwealth Games in the hope to get himself a little bit fitter. So he's had his eyes on the goggle box. But it's Kelly Manell out next, so they just jumped a little bit out of order. Cherie Patterson doing the navigational duties. And Kelly Manell, of course, Shrek's wife, Shrek being the co-commentator. He's also the president of the New Zealand Jetsprint Association and the promoter here at the Methanex Aquatrack Waitara. So we'll hear a little bit later from Shrek. He's got a few jobs that he needs to take care of, but Kelly Manell just needs to keep her head about her. She's in third place in the overall championship and knocking on the door of Daniel Buttercup Reid. Kelly Manell has a little bit of trouble around the mouth fresh hairpin, and that tends to be a little bit intrinsic of how things go for her. So she'll be trying to work very, very hard on that indeed. This is her home track, and while it is her home track, it's not as if she puts down the pencils and the rulers from her teaching job and comes out here and plays every night. It's just not the way it goes. A 48.778. So Kelly Manell into P6 at the moment. So while this is Kelly Manell's home track, she doesn't necessarily just send the kids off to home after a day of teaching and come out here and have a little bit of a play. These boats, very high-strung animals as far as horsepower, speed and handling goes. So these guys and girls don't generally come out here and have a bit of a play unless there are fully equipped safety crew around. But we are now going to go to Paddy Hayden, the bloke leading the championship, the unassailable lead in the championship for PSP Suntough. His wife, Jay Hayden from TA Te Awamutu. Jay, the registered nurse, and Paddy Hayden, the boat is called Schizo, and these guys have had a fantastic 2018 season for the Stinger Boat Group B category. They had a massive win at Merry last time, some 2.5 to 3 seconds in front of the rest of the field, and I dare say that could be very well attributed to the work that Kelvin Pickard has been doing with this particular jet unit. So Paddy Hayden not going overly hard at it at the moment. Oh, he's just bogged it down into the hairpin. So Paddy Hayden not going, well, just taking it easy, but bogged it down really big time. But he won't be worried about that. He can take it fairly easy today, but being the racer he is, once he gets the pace up later today, he'll continue with that. Got a little bit of sun strike there, so Paddy Hayden across the line, well down the list with a 51.719. As he came around that part of the track, coming in towards the finish line, he did put his hand above his eye, so I dare say there's a little bit of sun glare out there for Paddy Hayden. All right, this is Buttercup. Daniel Reid, the local boy, the logistics officer. Jasmine Webster, the teacher's aide. The boat is the Aquaholic. McClutchy Contracting, sponsor on board. Settlers Honey, Naki Electrical, Gulf Oil, Donny's Egmont Industrial Supply, Peter Sol Transport. So Buttercup in the opening qualifying round went out very confident indeed. I know that when he came into this rotation last time we were here racing at Waitara, he was very nervous about it. Had a great run all day, and then coming into the final just went wrong way coming into the final. He changed the way that he prepared for each and every run, and well, got himself a little bit lost, blew it around the hairpin just then, and yeah, just sort of outthought himself last time here. So he's been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of working out how he's going to improve here today. He wants to find himself second on the overall championship. Kelly Manel, he's a next and nearest competitor. So Buttercup across the line there with a 46.747 into P3, and really threw away a lot of time around the mouth fresh hairpin. Okay, we will reset our clocks. Here's how it looked for the Group B qualifying run. Carl Beaver in 1, Jacob Simmons 2, Daniel Reid 3, Bevan Schuler 4, Hayden Wilson 5, and Tim Edhouse in 6. So we will now reset our clocks and get ready to go Group A racing qualifying round number 2 for Fowler Homes. Of course, Lockie McMillan competing in this as Hal Brensel and Kate Dawson make their way out onto the track all the way from Tapanui right down on the South Island. Oh, Carl Brensel really late into there, really had to heave on that wheel to get the boat in there. So unlike Carl Brensel to be so heavy on the steering wheel, normally a fairly smooth driver, in fact has allowed his normal navigator, Hamish Murray, to have a drive. So this boat will be A and B driven here today. Carl Brensel out on track, the normal driver behind the wheel. He's got his partner Kate Dawson sitting in alongside him. The boat looking a little bit hoppy, skippy and jumpy. Haven't seen this particular boat handle like this, so they might need a little bit of work to do on that. Carl Brensel opens up his time with a 45.686. Hamish Murray, who we'll be seeing in about sort of 20 minutes, the B driver for this particular boat here this weekend, is normally sitting right alongside Carl. Carl said, well, you know what, Hamish puts in just as much time behind, into this boat, and he said, well, it's the final race of the season, and so gave him an opportunity to sit in behind the wheel for Hamish Murray. So great to see that we've got another driver coming through the ranks. All right, we now go to Richard Burt. This is Richard Burt with Haley Host, the radiographer from Wanganui. This is the Get Insider of Brian Kelly Special, the Jet Speed hull, and the 8 1/4 Scott Jet unit. So Richard Burt from Palmerston North, known around the traps as a very distinguished driver, has had a very up and down season this year, has been in and out of a lot of boats. Started off in the unlimited category with the rotor boat, had a few issues with that one. Oh, really wide of that round there. Richard Burt just dragged it out just that little bit too wide for mine. You won't be overly stressed about that. Richard Burt then stepped in with Lockie McMillan and drove that particular boat, the Fowler Homes boat, at Bay Park. He's subsequently now on the Get Insider machine, and a 43.760, great time there for Richard Burt. He also, just trying to think of the other boat that he's driven, that's right, of course, how could I forget, at Hastings he drove the Altherm boat of Glen Heads as well. He also, throughout the course of this season, has driven the 0800 My Engine Link engine management machine of Pip Thompson, and he's finalising his rounds of the 2018 season in the Get Insider machine. A lot of people grab hold of Richard Burt because of his knowledge and his experience and say, mate, will you jump in, will you drive the boat? We want to see what you can do to tweak it, tune it, and get it handling a little bit better. So that is why he jumps in and out of so many boats. His expertise, he's very well sought after, and that means that he's in and out of many. But it is now Lockie McMillan from New Plymouth, the Managing Director of Fowler Homes in Taranaki, and the sponsor here for the Group A category, Matt Nan, doing the navigational duties. The boat is called One Chance. So Lockie McMillan, new to the sport this year, and has been doing a pretty good job. Just working it out can be very difficult getting into these boats. Takes a long time to work it all out, but Lockie, a great supporter of jet sprinting already, and we look forward to a very strong and successful continued relationship, as we do with all of our sponsors throughout the 2018 and moving forward jet sprinting seasons. So Lockie McMillan, Matt Nan, they are looking pretty positive indeed out there at the moment. And that's a pretty tidy time. As you can see, not a lot of pace in that one. Lockie just comfortable with the rotation and a 53.344. So g'day to all those watching the live stream. Big Nige there, just tuning in there and saying, well, the sunstrike, there's a little bit of glare going on, but the cloud coverage has seemed to have sorted that out. The temperature certainly risen. It was very, very cold this morning. The ducks at the top end of the track there were too scared to get anywhere near the water. They just said, no, too cold for us. So the temperature warming up here a little bit, so we'll expect to see some fantastic racing. Just hopefully the temperature doesn't warm up too much. These naturally aspirated boats work better in the lower temperatures. So it is Tim Betts from Auckland, the builder, Jojo from Tauranga, the number one tipper chick, doing the navigational duties here. Violent Tendencies is the boat. These guys at Hastings had a lot of trouble with this boat, and pretty well set out the entire race meeting at Merry wasn't there. He's gone the wrong way, has Betsy, so Jojo's giving him a bit of a bum steer there. I'm sure that she will sort that out, and well, Betsy loving getting into jet sprinting, of course. Well down on the overall championship, but he's not going to worry too much about that. Now back on the correct rotation. As many of you who understand, who watch the Jet Sprint series time and time again, if you make a rotational error, as you know it, they will get that opportunity to rejoin the rotation, but they must do so from the direction in which they originally come. Our timing officials here in the timing tower have adjudicated that Betsy is back onto the correct rotation and will complete the lap. Well down on pace at the moment. Betsy just getting his eye in, and it will be a time of 62.606. So there we go. We'll just get our live stream to pick up Shrek Manel down there. He's just doing a little bit of work on the fence just down there. So Leighton Manel, that's what Leighton looks like. And I tell you what, that's probably the best angle you can get a picture of Leighton Manel. So we call him Shrek. Wave to the camera there, Shrek. Just, yeah, beauty, no worries. That is the Fat Controller, the president of the NZJSA, promoter here at the Waitara Jetsprint track, the Methanex Aqua track, as well as the co-commentator as well. So plenty going on there for Shrek as Ray and Nikki Ferg make their way out onto the track. They had a bit of a nightmare in the first qualifying run. They went the wrong way and they've gone the wrong way again. So Ray Ferg will not be very happy with the way that this is going so far. 2 qualifying runs, 2 wrong ways. He did correct himself during the opening round, and he's now back on the course rotation proper. I'll tell you what, it is just amazing work that the girls do up here in the timing tower, making sure that the rotation is correct. And g'day to Tracy Old out there. Geez, I'll tell you what, Trace, where are you? Seriously, the final round of the season, and you've decided to sit at home with your feet up on the couch when you could be down here smelling the methanol fumes. But anyway, hey, Tracy, I know you are busy today, but look, thank you for all of your work throughout the season. I look forward to seeing you at the prize giving, and make sure you keep tuned into the live stream all throughout the day. So Ray Ferg with a 76, or was that a 66? 66.589. When it starts getting over a minute, it just, yeah, well, but at least he completed the course rotation proper. And it's just amazing to work with the ladies who work in the commentary tower here. Of course, Hannah and Julia. And of course, well, as soon as the boats go the wrong way, the girls here make sure that I'm aware of what's going on. And sometimes I get so confused that without them, we wouldn't have a clue what the boats are doing. So Uncle Tony Reid out on track at the moment. Bakey. He's a navigator from Waitara, the concreter. Tony Reid, the engineer, also from Waitara. Uncle Tony, in his first run, the boat cut out and he stuck it up on the bank. So Uncle Tony got a new package for next year, so that will be very, very exciting indeed. He's g'day to Lorraine watching at home. I hear you were trying to kick the rugby ball and you might have broken your foot, so that is no good at all. Oh, Uncle Tony bogs it down into the hairpin. So yeah, they had a couple of issues over the last couple of days or so, and hopefully Uncle Tony can put that behind him at the moment. And Lorraine, hope that your convalescence goes very, very well and you're just kicking back there at home and enjoying the live stream. So Uncle Tony there, Tony Reid with a 51.018. So at the moment, it is Richard Burt at the top of the table. Carl Brentzel some 2 seconds behind him. Tony Reid a further 5 seconds behind that. Lockie McMillan, Tim Betts, Ray Ferg. Now we're getting into the top end category of this Group A qualifying round number 2 for Fowler Homes. It is the Ryco machine of Stewie Latham, James Hayden doing the navigational duties. And well, this is a new boat. Stewie Latham wrote off the Stinger machine at Wanganui earlier in the year with an incredibly spectacular crash. Came down the front straight at Wanganui, ran a little bit wide while he was just checking out how he was looking on the big screen, parked at the end of the track, ran wide and rolled it, really whiplashed the boat, caused some serious damage to James Hayden's eye, actually disrupted the retina, I believe it was, from the tube that connects the retinas and all that sort of stuff down the back of the eyeball. So James Hayden still got a blurry eye from that accident, may never come good again, but James still jumped back into the boat. So it's a brand new jet speed hull for these guys. They have got the rotation wrong. James Hayden, if you could see there on the live stream, certainly put his hand up and said, Stewie, you need to go this way. And I don't think, no, they still haven't got the rotation. They're back on the rotation now. So they have put in a lot of miles and a lot of metres in there to get back onto the rotation proper. So the time will blow out, but it's been very good work to get it back on the rotation proper. So that's a 72.897. So a little bit frustrating for those guys, but well, great to see the commitment coming back after such a violent crash at Wanganui. It was very spectacular, and the boat actually whiplashed into the ground. There is actually a photo I've seen where the boat is sideways and you can actually see the driver pushed up to the top of the boat in the photo and the navigator pushed to the bottom of the boat. So they were actually separated during the rollover to opposite sides of the boat, and that was simply due to the centrifugal force of the actual rollover. So great to see those guys back out in the water. We now go to Phil Dick, the Jet Design Co. machine. The navigator of the boat is called the Reaper. Phil Dick has had a much better season this season, and he's certainly looking for sponsors. This is one of the boats that, if you were to think about getting into sponsorship in Jetsprint, this is absolutely the one that you would want to get on board. Phil Dick designed and built this boat himself, and certainly having a much better season of it this year. Certainly really looking a lot more aggressive. Oh, the big back off into the hairpin. That's well thought out as the day progresses. Hopefully he'll ease off a lot later in that part of the rotation. So Phil Dick now coming in towards his final run, and it is a 47.648. Finds himself in a P3, so that's a really good run there for Phil. Yeah, wow, some 3.3 seconds quicker Phil went that time than he did in his earlier qualifying run. So that's really positive to see, and great to see this guy. Had a bit of an indifferent season during 2017, spent a lot of time on the grass. We gave him a little bit of grief because that's our job after all, you know. If you end up on the grass, you're going to get a little bit of grief from the commentary team. That's just the way it rolls, unfortunately. But yeah, it's really come of age for the 2018 season. Coming of age, and speaking of that, this is Sean and Faye Rice from Elite Kitchens. So these guys into the brand new Sprint Tech and the second season in the sport, and wow, absolutely flying at the moment. Drove by, if you need a kitchen anywhere in New Zealand, have a chat to these guys. Had a look at their facilities the other day, and they are absolutely top notch, and new technology in the factory there. So these guys, all reports, do such fantastic work for Elite Kitchens. And wow, Sean Rice has been fantastic this season. So Sean Rice got it wrong way last time. Looks to be on the rotation proper at the moment. This is going to be a good time. And Sean Rice straight to the top of the table with a 43.534. Wow, that is a ripping time. And particularly given this is this bloke's only his second ever season of racing, so has really got on top of this very, very early in his career. The Cosa Nostra boat, the Sprint Tech G-Force. So really good run. These guys coming out now, the brothers Riddick, Dean the driver, Aaron the navigator, the owners and photographers and the sales reps for Open to View, and had a look at the Open to View page the other day. Great, fantastic footage there. About image, a classic car for exploring extra design solutions, definitely young Taranaki. Well, there's a bit of a problem. The boys put their hand up, might have copped a little bit of weed into the jet unit. So the way that this works is within a certain amount of time, time they are allowed to put their hand up due to potential weed issue getting into the intake of the jet unit, put their hand up, come back into the trailer area. So that will go back up there. The team will drag that boat out of the water, have a look at the intake of that grill. That is certainly allowed under the rules and regulations. So that is no problem there at all. So I dare say that it will be Andy Ryan coming out next, the earthworks contractor from down south. With there's so many vowels in that name of that town there that I don't know how to pronounce it at all. Kerry Ann Allen doing the navigational duties. Hey, Leighton, welcome to the welcome to the tower. But before you get all set up here, mate, I need to ask you, what's the name of that place?
Yep, that is called Paratahuni.
Paratahuni. There's not an R in there to be seen anywhere, but Leighton Shrek-Manel just coming in to commentary in just a little minute. It is the Joker out on the track with Andy Ryan and Kerry Ann Allen. Rapid Earthworks, Hines Pipe Systems, and the insurance specialists. So Andy Ryan getting plenty of hurry up and giddy up and go. And this particular boat again, Calvin Pickard doing a lot of work on the blades for this boat. So Andy Ryan not looking too bad. Seems to have sorted that hairpin out. He's had a little bit of trouble around that hairpin in the past. Well, that was very tight around the Methanex sweeper at the bottom part of the track. But Andy Ryan into P3 for qualifying round number 2, the Fowler Homes Group A with a 44.736. Welcome, Leighton Shrek-Manel. How are you going today, mate?
Kevinator, it's great to be back, and I've been listening to you up there as I've been running around checking out all the hot goss pit stuff going on. Some big dramas already unfolding on this final day. Peter Cowie, story of the day at this stage is looks like it might not be back on the track, the mighty NZ machine. So there's been a real drama unfolding there as we've seen it between us. So there we have it. He's managed to get off the trailer and get round and get in his with that DNF, get a run on the board as such, but that would give him the final position should he not be able to get that boat going. So here we go. Here's the story as we get on. Another Taranaki team.
They get back out on track again, so a little bit of weed on the intake, and we'll come back to what's going on with Peter Cowie in just a little while, because that is big news, particularly as he's trying to get some testing done coming into the World Series in Australia come October and November this year. But the boys, Riddick, I tell you, these guys have really started to come on strongly in the latter part of this season, and I've been really impressed with the way they've been going. The confidence is starting to rise, the understanding of how the boats operate starting to work out a lot better for these guys, and look, fantastic how these brothers are just really taking the grasp of everything that's been going on and really moving forward with it. This is going to be a pretty good run too. This is going to be a 44.804, and that puts them into P4 for qualifying round number 2. So they'll be very happy with that indeed.
Great solid efforts, second run out, and I'm stoked for them. But hey, leaping back to the NZ, there's a fair bit of work going on in that tent. We've been watching furiously. The word is a valve issue, and if that is a valve or ends up being a bent valve or whatever it is, that could be curtains. We've got to check on some numbers. We'll get back to you as the day unfolds. But at the moment, yeah, that is it. NZ.
Wow, that is big news, because we'll just watch Ross Travers coming out now. His son Shane in right alongside him. And again, we're going to have to get back to that because I want to follow this up a little bit further. Ross Travers from Wanganui, wow, he's had a very busy week. They did a bit of testing and tuning on this boat throughout the week, realised that the valves were all up, they were shot. He had to fly up to Auckland to pick up a new camshaft. Then came back, sorted that out, had to get all the valves sorted out. So they've been working feverishly to get this radioactive machine sorted, because of course he's in third on the overall championship coming into this final round. He's been down on power all season. They finally worked out what it is and have now come to the fore, and Ross looking pretty good out there at the moment. Whatever they've done, this boat is certainly looking a lot quicker than we've seen it with a 43.284.
Straight to the top of the table. Roscoe will be stoked with that. I know I was talking to him just before, and he was saying he felt the boat felt it a little flat to him. This is with the new Camman, but then he came in and looked at his time and went, you know what, I went a second quicker than what I finished here last time. So amazing.
One run.
And he's just found another couple with that run, so he'll be happy. So yeah, good on you, Roscoe.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Peter Coey, so I thought that he, just having a quick glance at the points table, I sort of thought that he had a pretty well unassailable lead in the overall championships in the Mouthfresh Unlimited class. Assuming that he's going to get around at least once or twice, because he's the most professional team in the business. There's no doubt about that. So now it's going to have to go back to the books and see how the day unfolds.
Absolutely. There'll be a lot of calculators getting pulled out, a lot of points tables being issued, and a lot of teams working pretty furiously. As we know, he had a really, really big lead, and this is one of the new drivers we've got here at the moment, isn't it, Katie? So
yeah, Hamish Murray.
Oh, right,
Yeah, Hamish Murray normally navigates in this particular boat right alongside Carl Brentzel. Carl, I had a chat to him earlier this morning, and he said, Hamish puts in just as much time and effort. He said it's the final run of the series. The bloke's been around the sport now for a few years. I'm going to give him a shot behind the wheel. And it's amazing that the local man, Anthony Lewis, put his hand up. And I was speaking to Anthony Lewis earlier in the day yesterday. I was having a bit of a chat with him, and he said, I think I'm navigating for Carl. I said, I don't think you are, mate. I think you're navigating for Hamish. He wasn't even too sure he was navigating for. And the interesting thing, when he found out it was Hamish's first run, he was like, oh no, is that good or bad? But from what we've just seen from Hamish Murray, from his second ever run, 52.070, Anthony Lewis should be feeling pretty comfortable.
No, mate, he's pedalled that round the track really good, actually. A good tidy run. His first one was a bit sloppy, but he certainly settled things down with that one. So going to be good to watch young Hamish, the battle within the teams, really. Carl's been absolutely hauling the big maroon monster around the track lately, isn't he? But Carl's been sitting inside him, so this time
I think it's going to be really interesting, because Maroon 2 with Carl Brentzel out on the track in the earlier in qualifying round number 2, the boat was really bouncy, really hoppy, really skippy. But we'll see how that settles down. Cy Gibbon, wow, this guy, what a season he's had. Rode a boat off down at Wanaka, jumped into a new boat, and currently sits 2 points behind championship leader Ollie Silverton. Oh, have a look at that, out of the blocks.
No mucking around here, Cavey. As you can see, he's come here with the old face on the rate. Look at the pace down the bottom of the track. A little bit untidy, but there is no mucking around. I laughed. I got talking to his lovely wife earlier today, and she's telling me he was a bit grumpy earlier in the week with that weather storm that come through. The story was he got stuck up at the Auckland airport and ended up having to sleep in the terminal all night. So you can imagine this 6'8" monster sort of stretched out on 10 seats, trying to keep rattle.
Yeah, trying to get a little bit of snooze, but wow, Cy Gibbon, of course. Donna Thompson doing the navigational duties here. That's a cracking time, 43.178, straight to the top of the table too. So
there you go. Even though it was a little bit untidy, he's still a hundredths of a second under there, Ross Super Mario, and of course Riceinator, Sean Ricey, Mackie Flyer, and that brand new boat is right there as well. So
I reckon Ricey can get in the middle of this, because Cy Gibbon, Ross Travers, and the next boat out, Ollie Silverton, all within striking distance, can all take number one on the podium throughout the course of today. So it's Ollie Silverton and Jess Sitt coming out now, currently 2 points in front of the man we just saw, Simon Gibbon. This is going to be red hot throughout the day, mate.
Oh, absolutely. I've been waiting for this one to unfold all week, actually, and like I say, the top 5 Group A boats, there is nothing. Hundredths of a second between it. Just a blink of the eyelids. But watch this man here today. PSP, super smooth. Oh, again, they're attacking that, what I call the pork chop. He just about ate the whole chop then.
Wow, Ollie Silverton has been traditionally, will come out very, very aggressive. Not this aggressive though. This is qualified round number 2. How's he going in the hairpin? Not bad.
Yeah, very tight. He's got out of there. Let's have a look at the split time. He's pretty good there too at the moment. So he's right on. Actually, that split is the best we've seen all day. So Ollie at the moment, if he can keep this run going, his odds on to go top of the table. Talk about 42. 941. So there you have it. So he'll be happy about that. He'll be going back, looking at the board. He'll be saying, everyone else's 43s. We're only talking 200ths of a second, but it doesn't matter mentally. He's in the 42s and the others in the 43.
That's exactly right. It is a mental game as much as anything, as we now see Neil Marshall in the Eagle Automotive machine. Brand new hull out of the Stinger workshop. And Neil Marshall has had a very difficult last 2 seasons. He's lunched 4 engines, and we thought we might not see him again. I spoke to him this morning. You know a little bit more about Neil Marshall, mate. They've sorted out these engine issues.
They have, mate, and here he comes. Neil, big deal. On top of this engine that they have sorted, he's in his brand spanking new hull. This is the new one-piece Stinger. Oh, we've got the arms up with the girls. They're a little bit rattled there. So he's going back. He's going to start again, I'd say. Haley's going to get him back on track. So going back to this boat, this here it is, a brand new boat. Come here for this meeting. They've worked super hard on it, done a lot of mods, and they have sorted the engine issues out. They actually found a manifold problem. So there you go. All that. Whoa. I'm breaking myself here.
Right, Neil Marshall just got himself wrong way again as Leighton Meltzer throwing the very expensive equipment around and out of his pocket and just sort of throwing it onto the floor. He's got all sorts of bits and pieces going on here. He's got cable ties holding his pants up. Geez, I'll tell you what, mate, you didn't do a very good deal on them. And it's great to be able to throw a bit of shit at you there, Leighton, because you're too busy trying to sort yourself out there with all sorts of electronics and equipment going on.
I tell you what,
sorted yourself out. Didn't Kelly dress you this morning, mate?
I ripped out of the bed that quick, man. I forgot to put a belt on, so the old trousers started dangling. But we talk about things falling out of pants. I tell you what I saw fall out of yours earlier was a little bit of yellow sandpaper. Tell me about that, you Aussies. Yeah, you Aussies have got to think about it, didn't you?
Oh, well, I tell you what, mate, you've got to keep those balls polished. So, you know, you want to make sure that they're all done and sorted out. So, well,
I actually thought you looked like you'd been riding a horse or a bull all night the way you were walking in, but obviously you're a bit raw down there.
Yeah, I needed to go the 360, not the 80, mate.
Righto, big deal. Neil's got across the line. Yeah. There you go, folks. It's only been a short while, and KV and I are already at it.
Yeah, well, that's it, you know. Gee, I'll tell you what, the Australian cricket team, I'm sitting there going, there are so many jokes about it, all very well deserved, let's face it. Like, you know,
it was classic.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there going, look, if you're going to go and do something sneaky, at least be a little bit more sneaky about your sneakiness. You know?
The old yellow paper, mate. We're going to have some fun with that for you.
God, come on, boys. I could have given you a bit better advice on that. Jeez. You might as well just bought out a sheet of it and run it up and down the bloody pitch, you know what I mean? But anyway, all right, so this is Clayton and Mandy Chesterling getting inside of Brian Kelly just down below the commentary tower here, having a very good look at what's going on. I haven't seen BK around the tracks much this year.
He has been around, but he's been head down, bum up in the pits, trying to find extra horsepower for these guys, and I know there's been a lot of work going to this particular boat. Big Clayton, he's not so aggressive on the wheel today. He's normally really chucking it, but it's actually looking really smooth so far, KV.
Yeah, look, the other thing is that these guys have got Richard Bird in with them today. Now, Richard Bird, a lot of people, he's been jumping in and out of boats, but people ask him to get in the boats because he can set them up and he can educate people as well, which is why he gets drive so many boats as a B driver. Now, that's a 44.298, and so we'll just wait short.
Already, you know, you're right, and like I say, he's a good 2 seconds there, just off what we saw happen with Ollie. But as you know, you're talking about Richard Bird, he's a freak, he can drive, he's a very, very good driver, and this is why he's asked to get in these boats and help out, because if they're going to find that extra second to get into that next level, then they need that man as well as the engine man like old Brian there to trim them through. So I believe it's great thinking by Team Teesdale. I mean, the first time in Group A this year, and they might need that second to get it.
Yeah, that's right. It makes it very, very interesting. So it's fantastic to see that, look, you know, we see so many people going, oh, you know, and there has been throughout the course of the season, a couple of people go, oh, Richard, he bloody jumps in and out, he does all sorts of bloody crazy things. But, you know, he's been fantastic in assisting getting those boats set up. So, oh, look, hang on a sec, mate, they're going to put us on television.
I'll tell you what.
You know, the Caveman and the Shrek Show, we could be been all sorts of trouble.
Here we have it, the two best-looking chaps in the old place.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got the Hair Bear and the Mighty Mo.
That's it. Yeah, so I noticed the Caterpillar's been coming down for a drink there, mate. It's getting a little bit further down there.
Yeah, the old slug's been going really well. Actually, I'm looking forward to Movember this year. I just keep it every year, to be honest. But it's going a bit grey, mate. It's going a bit grey.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of speckles in there, mate. You want to be a little careful about that because, you know, apparently what happens is you get the grey hair, then the memory goes.
Oh, yeah, we're on it. I'll tell you what, is that an organ I can hear?
Yep.
I think it is. I think there is a hum of an organ. It looks like Greg Morgan.
Yeah, geez, I tell you what, the liquid strip machine, geez, it looks an absolute treat, does it? And Terry-Ann DeWare doing her first navigational duties. Had a chat with her this morning. She was looking very, very nervous indeed. So I tried to calm her down a little bit and said, oh, listen, when the boat turns upside down, this is what you need to do. And I just portrayed all the worst things that can happen to a navigator.
Well, it is very cold out there, but it looks like the old organ player's going to stay there a bit longer. We're going to Pip Thompson.
No, in fact, it'll be Dave Simmons comes out first. Yeah,
it is.
Decided
Well, there you go.
to take the first out of the A and B. He will get out there first. John Very, the Napier man, sitting in alongside. They've still got a red light.
Yeah.
So that was what has unfolded there. And you might just be able to see that right in the bottom corner of the screen, on the big screen there. It doesn't show up very well from our camera angle, but it does show up very well as the drivers come into that start chute.
Oh, there you go.
So, don't know what happened there.
I wouldn't have picked it, but obviously Dave looking, maybe he's lost a bit of weight between rounds because I had it down for Pip as they went past, but he's looking a little bit lower in the boat and a little bit sleeker, so good on you, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. They've done a lot of work to this boat because it's A and B driven, and of course Dave being tall, Pip being, well, the opposite of tall, vertically challenged. So, yeah, interesting. They're now coming back up onto the trailer. So we'll see if we can get some news from race control as to what is going on there. The red light, it's now flashing green down there. Very, very difficult to see from our camera angle. So you'll just have to trust us on that one. So it looks like we're going back to the piano player.
It is. Greg Morgan. Once played the mouth organ when he was at school.
Dr. Bloody Zeus. I'll tell you what, there's a statue of a bloke up there in Edinburgh, in Scotland, and he's Burns, and he's one of the world's famous poets, mate. I reckon they need to get a bloody statue of you up there, mate. Leighton, Shrek, Manel, and I can't even think of anything that rhymes with Manel.
I'll tell you what, I've been bloody impressed with Greg down in Auckland. We haven't seen him around for a few meetings, and he's really driving this thing really well. Whoa! Grabbed a fistful of it there.
That thump came right through the commentary tower and up my spine.
Yeah, no. That nearly parted me mo, that one. It was a fair old go on the throttle. It's got plenty of Django, old 44. A little bit wide on the hairpin, ugly out of there.
Just to tell you what, he was that wide, I thought he was going to go and visit the beach down there at Uanui, the next town along.
Well, I'm picking old Terry-Ann is in for a bit of a scary Ann at the moment because there's been a lot of jumping and bobbing and dancing around here. And there they go. He's got across the line and he's got a good time of a 44, even though that was a bit of a, I'll call it a rough tango sort of dancing way around.
44.298.
44.298.
Yeah, so, geez, I tell you what, it was a bit rough and rugged, but he's certainly developing the confidence. When I spoke to Greg early this morning, he said, you know, I had a really good run at Auckland. I felt comfortable. The boat went quicker. And he said, geez, you know, it's such a difference when you feel that confidence level rise. So I said, how do you think you'll go today? He said, mate, I'm feeling good. All I need to do is get around the first couple of times, then I'll be able to put my foot into it a bit more.
If he smooths that up and, like say, putting the foot into it like he does the organ, if he just plays it a little bit gentler, I think it'll all come. But here we go. Dave Simmons, John O'Veary, a couple of sandpaper boys from
way back. Now, these gates have got a certain way of blowing up, these blokes have got a certain way of blowing up goats, as it turns out. But that's probably after hours and not during a live broadcast to discuss. But the Blue Flame machine, these guys with the Link engine management system on board, has been working really well for the team So fantastic to see these boys out well down in the about 8th in the championship, but still have been improving as the series has gone on.
Oh, absolutely, and the work that goes into this boat, I know the hours these guys put in together as a team, it's just great to see them keep chipping away, finding a second here, a second there. So I'll be interested to see. This looks a tidier run than what we just saw from Greg, but time-wise, what's the difference? Here we go.
Yeah, we're about to find out, and it is a 44.646, so Dave Simmons to the top. But interestingly, Dave Simmons and John Verry, absolute cracker blokes. They laugh, they joke, they just sort of, if anything goes wrong, they don't stress about it. They have a bit of a laugh. They might swear and curse a little bit out of the public eye, but generally take a pretty positive attitude into everything.
Great couple of guys, there's no doubt about it, and that's what sprinting's all about. Righto, the big shark's teeth coming to us in the roar, the white pointer. Sexy Rexy Bryant and Amanda Kiddo.
Geez, I tell you what, mate, that's a long stretch to call him sexy. We'll just call him Rexy, I think. Oh, no, big gut full of weed there. The hand went up straight away off the start line. So got a few weed issues off the start line there. It does happen from time to time. And I guess, mate, given the rain that we've had around here in Taranaki for the entire week, tornadoes ripping roofs off houses and businesses and things. The cows have been ducking for cover. The birds have been grounded. It's been a bit hard to get out there and mow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The grass is a little bit long, and of course you can see the jet units blow a few chunks of grass in there, and it doesn't take much to drift into that start pool and just slip under a bit of a unit. When they start up, they're like a vacuum cleaner. It just sucks it straight in the grill. So they'll just whip it up on the trailer and pull it out. We'll let the next cab off the rank. In fact, it's already happening by the look of it. Looks like Baden.
Yeah, Baden Gray and Darren Todd. Of course, Darren Todd, the world champion navigator and workshop manager at Vickers Aircraft Company, and Baden Gray, the mortgage broker for Prosper Mortgages and Insurance. And Baden Gray, what's he done? He's completely gone the wrong way. You know what I reckon? He's just decided to go out there and see. No, he's absolutely not.
He's realised
he was like a bull at a gate. He's come out after you go through the start loop, which is defined by the Altherm flags. There.
Now he's away.
He's back on track. He's just gone, a big rush of blood straight to the top of the track. It looks spectacular, though.
Serious brain fart. I think he was quite excited how quick it was going, but after he got that excitement out of his brain, he realised it was the wrong way. So a little bit of a wasted journey. All he can do now is work on the track and work on a smooth line.
Yeah, he got wrong way during qualifying round number 1 as well. But look, this boat is handling absolutely beautifully. The 434 twin turbo, the new 9-inch pump, the big pop there.
Yeah, no, that blow-off valve just grabbing a bit of fresh air there. It certainly looks good. It's nose down. He's trimmed it right down. It's sitting beautiful in the water.
Now, had that not been a wrong way in the early part of the lap, that would have been a very good time, I think. But, of course, we can't tell.
Yeah, if he can string one together, and it will come. It's going to be third time lucky, hopefully, for Baden. So that boat, keep an eye on it. The Vickers aircraft machine, twin turbo, 434, 1400 horsepower, absolute weapon of a boat. So keep an eye out.
Got one of the safety crew in the water just retrieving the top of the Altherm flag. So Baden's just had enough power in that to blow the flag straight off the pole. Wow.
There you have it.
We just got some information from Genius Child, the 42.82, had he gone the right way. Cracking time.
That's great
Had
data.
he gone the right way, though.
That's what we call getting good data. Speaking of the Genius here, have you seen his hair? Look at the spitty.
I know.
Beautiful looking little fruit top
it
on
looks
him.
like he's stuck his head into, I don't know, I'll think of something else in the meantime.
Have you gone vegan or something, mate? You want us to call you beetroot? Or?
Well, yeah, I'll sit. Well, let's have a chat now, ladies and gentlemen. This is the man we call the Genius Child. He operates the computer here, mate. What's the go with the hair?
I thought it would be a laugh.
It is a bloody laugh. But anyway, we should get back to racing.
And the roar. Rex Bryan, he's got his weed out of the grill, and he's let her rip. Nicely.
Amanda Kiddo here doing the navigational duties. And, Rexy Bryant, the white pointed boat builder. And, geez, I'll tell you what, I've seen some of those boats. They look sensational. I'm going to have to get out and do a bit of fishing with him one of these days.
Oh, No, they make a beautiful, beautiful boat. There's no doubt about that. It's all in some of these ones. You go to the fuel station, you sit up alongside them, you talk to them. I mean, they're a good 150, 200 genos. They're a house. These guys going fishing in.
But the beauty of it is they're always got water views.
Well, absolutely. Around the bottom of the track, Rex Bryant. Look at that. We just talked about a 42. Rexy Bryant. The genius Charles just bringing it up for us.
Yeah, he's just created.
He's too busy combing his hair. Hang on, he'll be back with us. 41.
Oh, that is a cracking time. That is unbelievable. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see on the live stream at home, here we have the Genius Child's very bright red hair. That's probably, give a bit of a thumbs up there, mate. Oh, my God, he's all I can bloody say. Seriously, mate, you might want to try blue or something. It's starting to look like Krusty the Clown, really.
I'm a little bit jealous because I can't do anything like that. I could probably try dyeing my mow or something. What was that, sorry?
It'll be green and Wanganui.
Green and Wanganui? Righto, it's going to be green and Wanganui.
All right, so there you go. Richard Murray out on track now. Joe Rathbone, their first run of the day, saw the boat flame out, park itself up on the island. So Richard Murray in fourth in the overall championship. Has a good run here today. Could well find himself on the podium in the overall championship, and that's what he's aiming for.
Oh, really looking forward to see this boat go towards the end of the day because, as we know, I don't know why all season he's had fueling problems, a little bit rich, it's snuffed out, it's snuffed on, but as he works into his work, he gets quicker and quicker and quicker. And he's really looking forward to the World Series in Australia, so I really want to see Richard keep coming with it.
Yeah, look, the way he goes about it, he's one of those guys that right throughout the rotation, it's a good time there with a 44.803, puts him in a P3 at the moment. He'd be happy with that. But he's one of those guys, a lot of these superboat drivers try to take finite lines around the apexes. Richard Murray, on the other hand, one of those guys likes to look for the middle of the track wherever he can, and it goes well.
Yeah, no, he's certainly been around a long time, and he's a very good driver, and it takes a lot to drive that big, heavy supercharger around, but I'll tell you what, if he can charge it around the track towards the end of the day. Here's the big improver, the Foxton Flyer. Kevy Roberts. Alongside him today's
Kendra Death.
That is Kendra Death, righto.
So normally Kev's daughter Claire, of course, sitting alongside. She's still got issues with the appendix operation, I believe that it was. So she's still convalescing. But Kendra, having been a long-term navigator for a few of the teams over the years, might bring that little bit of experience to get Kevin Roberts to concentrate on that track direction, because we know the guy's got used to the power of the boat, but he's not confident with that rotation. So I think as soon as we see confidence in the rotation, we're going to see a greater amount of speed coming out of this boat. We know the boat can do it.
Oh, absolutely. It's a beautifully prepared boat. And looking at Kev's attacking the track here at the moment, this is still a better. Every time we look at him, he's getting better and better. Maybe he's left his best to last. Maybe today's his day.
Let's hope so. Well, wide around there, but Kev Roberts, well, he's going to be wrapped with that with a 44.406. And that's probably a 48% throttle trace on that particular boat.
Mate, he come galloping up to me after qualifying one, and he said, was that time clock working properly? I said, yeah, mate. And he said, wow, that's the best I've gone. So I know he'll be very, very happy with what he's just seen there.
So building that confidence.
Yep.
Now, this could be Kev Roberts' day. Let's hope it is, because he's been around for a couple of years now, just hasn't been able to string a meeting together at all. And that's no disrespect to the man, because sometimes it can take a while. Mind you, he's got about 1,600 horsepower at his disposal. Very hard to learn how to drive one of those beasts.
Right.
All right, Nick Berryman.
Nick Berryman, they've done a bit of work, twisted a bit more out of the camshaft. And he was super quick earlier on, and I'll tell you what, this looks super fast to start here. The split will tell us a story. Another man that's talking last minute about going to the World Series. He's not originally in the first camp, but I had a bit of a chat with him just this morning, and if today goes well, he's got a sponsor that's looking at helping out with him. 21 on the split. Great stuff.
But geez, I tell you what, this bloke would be a serious contender for the world the way he's been driving these last couple of seasons. The 410 Whipple supercharged engine is just absolutely sensational. He's been driving brilliantly. 41.687. Nick Berryman, 0.08. slower than Rex Bryan, but wow.
Unbelievable. No, I'd love to see him race over in Oz, and like I say, those tracks over there certainly will suit his boat.
Yep.
He's very been around the traps a long time, but he's probably in the prime, I would say, of his race career at the moment, Nick, and it's been great to see. So we're really looking forward to seeing what happens today. It's looking like now the big news at the moment, people, if you've just got here, Peter Cowie, reigning world champion, New Zealand champion, has got some major engine issues, has managed to get off a trailer and get one round in, but it has conked out. He may be gone for the day, which this is the championship decider. Has he got enough points? We've got to do a bit of a count up still to take it if he gets last position.
Well, people are going to have to get out the abacus out. Aaron Hansen now, Julianne Shanks, both from Tauranga. Aaron Hansen now in the Sprint Tech hull, stepped out of the Stinger hull. This is a brand new package for him, and wow, he's really thrown it around. Qualifying round number 2 for the Mouthfresh Superboats, and bought this boat off of Rob Coley only a couple of weeks ago. Been doing a lot of work in the garage to put his 500 cubic inch engine in it, and wow, the boat looking sensational. Aaron Hansen, number 3 in the world currently. Oh, a little bit too hard, spat it out, but he's got the presence of mind to keep it going. So really throwing this boat around for his qualifying 2. He's gone the wrong way. That discombobulated him, got him a little bit confused, got him rattled. Is he back on track again now? Yes, he is.
Another bit of news just in there. It's all unfolding here at the moment, and we are in the finals, but we saw Baden Gray come out and go absolutely hot into it earlier on, and we saw that Altherm flag get picked up, or the guys, in fact, they're going to get another one out there now. So it has been decided by the race officials when Baden went out, there was flags in there and all sorts, that he will get to rerun his run. So he will come out again at the end of these superboats that are about to run. So we're talking about it. So yeah, Peter Cowie with some engine problems. We've got some flags that are blowing out onto the track. As you can see, there's a couple of poles out there that are absolutely nude.
And well, speaking of nude, we got the Undy 5 Undy a little bit later too. But anyway,
we got the old Undy Hundy, which will be the dash for cash, and that will be on at lunchtime. We're also, if the weather permits, we will see a Trojan warplane coming across by Brett Emeny. So looking forward to that aerial display if weather lets us. So plenty of stuff to unfold here today.
Oh, mate, like we're only in qualifying round number 2. I've already started to get the jitters up, like just trying to go, better trying to keep it sort of low key at the moment, because we've got a long day to be commentating. Exciting in the overall championship, exciting the last round, the podium places, aeroplanes, Undy 500. It's going to be massive, mate. And well, you know, Baden Gray sucked up a flag, all sorts of issues as we see Scotty Donald and Nicole Reesby, the farmer and Featherston respectively, farmer and accountant respectively from Featherston. Wicked and Wild is the name of the boat. Of course, Scotty Donald, first qualifying round as per usual, just tickled his way around the course.
He's always good to put a couple of siders, and gets around the track quite nice, old Scotty. He's a bit of a, I suppose, creeping Jesus of a racer, really. He slugs along all day and just appears at the end. Oh, he's made a hash of that.
Yeah, that is... he's lucky to get away with that, not needing the requirements of the rescue crew, but only by the hair of his chinny chin.
Nah, the old hairpin snagged him there, and like you say, the track is extremely full at the moment. We've had a lot of rain this week. So these guys are getting to race in some really, really full water, which is picking up the times, and it'll catch them out. There's the odd shelf there. You touch it, it'll grab you.
Yeah, 48.045 there for Scott Donald. So that parking up on the hairpin there cost him a truckload of time. So, but he won't be overly worried about that. Qualifying round number 2, hopefully 3 qualifying rounds, all going according to plan, and then into the final. So plenty of opportunity for these guys and girls to get themselves sorted out.
Well, I think this racing in the particularly the superboat in Group A at the moment, I think we're going to see 4 or 5 boats within hundredths of a second. So obviously we've got Blake Bryant to come here. Looks like this is Sir Rob III.
Yes, Rob III.
Rob Coley, Mouthfresh, the best toothpaste in the world, the Nissan Twin Turbo. Watch this boat all day. He will know that Pete's got engine troubles. He'll know we want a good one run on the board right now. 41 to beat.
Rob Coley is a mathematical chance to take the overall championship. That is the big news of the day. Rob Coley, during his first qualifying run, got the rotation wrong. He needs to get himself set. One of those guys that can just be absolutely electrifying out on the track, or he can be electrifying while he rolls and bowls and sausage rolls it off the track. So it's a bit of 6 to 1 half dozen the other.
Beautiful job of the hairpin. I know he spoke to me last night about that hairpin, and I said, you've got to keep it spooled up, Rob. You need to keep both those hair dryers on hot as they go around there, mate. Load her up. So far, so good for Rob. Nice, easy start to it. He's going to cross the line, even though he pedalled his way around slowly with a 42.769. That was just easing his way into it. So that's a great drive. Rob Coley, he'll be stoked.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Now, like you mentioned about keeping the turbos hot, i.e. the turbos, they suck in air. They suck in the air. Explain that one to us, keeping them hot.
Basically, what you've got to do is you've got to spool these turbos up. You'll hear them, the breathing. They've got big blow-off valves in there. So once you've let those turbos cool down, you're losing all that drive. It's like dropping water out of it. So the secret is keep it loaded. Keep the water there. Keep everything flowing. So Rob will be looking the way he went down there. You pull out, you lose it. The boat will unsettle. Everything is a split second to drive off again. So
yeah, right. So it just takes that little while for it to spool back up again. Fantastic. So we now see Blake Bryant and Kate Hoogerbrug and the Bars Bugs machine. Wow, these guys, well, they're really happy with the setup at the moment. They missed a couple of races throughout the season, just busy lives, and, well, back to prove a point here for the final round.
Yeah, they'll attack the track all day. Blake was really happy. I was fortunate enough to have a yak with him after his first Qual2, and really happy. Missed the first qualifying round here in Naki 3 months ago, and of course we're all running this rotation, so he was a little bit disappointed. There you go, split times looking good. Nice looking split from Blake and Kate. 3/4 of the lap to go, 41 to beat on the board, and this is looking superb so far.
Yeah, not working too hard behind the wheel either there, and that's not a bad time with a 42.540. Remember that Peter Coey won the last time here with this same rotation with a 42 and some change. Already we're seeing into the 41, 42, 42. So, wow.
We've got a bit more water in there today, so the corners are a little bit more easy to get round, so the boys are chasing it, and that's the difference between getting that extra second and half a second. So, yeah, a lot of the guys did ask me earlier, what's the deal with that? You know, we're doing the same rotation, same track, but we've just got a little bit more water, and those guys are probably playing with another 6 inches either side of water, and that's the difference.
Well, I'll tell you what, you always want to play with an extra 6, so as we go now to Pip Thompson, Pip and Poppy, Megan Brodie, a.k.a. Poppy, Pip Thompson from Waitara in Hawke's Bay, the customer service manager, the A and B driven boat 99, the Blue Flame, and these girls have really done such a good job this season that they came from the Group B category and stepped straight up into super boats, and they just love it. Like the girls, they get out of the boat, they just laugh, they carry on, they don't get overly stressed about it, they just enjoy their racing.
Absolutely.
And they've gone the wrong way at the moment, but they are now back on the course rotation proper.
Oh, look, Pip does so much work for the sport. Obviously, a shared role in the secretary's job at the moment. So to have someone of her calibre and, of course, her nature, unbelievably friendly, ever so helpful, do anything for you, and the way she drives is so aggressive. This is not her boat. This is a borrowed boat. She's in a hubby's boat, and she likes driving her own one, the bitch's box, obviously. We all know what it's called. But so far, so good for Pippi.
Oh, big back off there going around the left-hander at Stinger, and I thought, well, that crosswash could have unsettled there, and it was pretty good. So the time blew right out there because of the rotational error early in the run, and well, we've got one more superboat to run. Peter Coey is certainly not down on the launch ramp. So, but Baden Gray and Darren Todd, with the flag that entered the racecourse during their run, they have taken the option to take a second run in qualifying round number 2 because of the flag being in the water.
Yeah, this is it. So this is what you're going to have to see. Baden's had 2 wrong ways and corrected, and of course the flag, he got away with the protest and he has done it. So here we go. Baden this time round with a 41 to chase. Looked good, the boat earlier, KV. We both said it. This time round, he has got the corner. This is a good start.
Well, you always like to be able to make the first corner because that one is the one that's going to set you up for the rotation, correct? Wow, really getting a lot of power into this boat, throwing it into some of these corners, which means that coming into that hairpin, this is going to be all important when he gets around to that area of the racetrack, because if he throws it in there, he's going to bog it down. Where are we going to go? Bit of an ease off.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Beautifully done as he took the longer angle to get round there, but it worked for him nicely. Talk about spooling off and spooling on. He kept it loaded. Big finish now. His split's been a cracker time too. Baden looking to join the 41 club at the top of the tree. Try a 40.
Oh, 40.446. That is quick time, ladies and gentlemen.
He will not be able to get out of the boat. He'll be that excited. He'll have to sit there just a little bit longer.
Yeah, calm down. Get the sweat off the brow. So that rounds out qualifying round number 2 for the Mouth Fresh Unlimited category. And it was Baden Gray that we just saw there, the cracker of a 40.446. Rex Bryant, we just had the screen just disappear from us there
41.
for a second. So no, we won't go back to that.
41.6.
Yep, righto, well done. So we'll carry on with that a little bit later. We'll just get the Genius Child. He was a little bit quick on the shoot there. All right, so it was Baden Gray, Rex Bryant, Nick Berryman, Blake Bryant, Rob Coley, Kevin Roberts making up that top lot as well. So great to see Kev moving up the order. We'll reset the clocks and get ready to go Group B racing. I'll just grab a quick breath of fresh air and be back in a second.